Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Ms. Gibson. A U.S. District Court judge in Ohio who is overseeing hundreds of lawsuits that have now been consolidated into one. These are lawsuits filed against opioid manufacturers and distributors. The judge has directed DEA to release data about the national distribution of opioids. The judge ordered the DEA to inform him very soon that it will consent to releasing data from the automation of reports and consolidated order system, ARCOS. ARCOS data, which drug companies must provide to the government under the Controlled Substances Act, shows transactions made by opioid manufacturers and distributors. The database shows how many pills were sold, where in the U.S. they were sent, and what pharmacies bought them. The database, as you know, is often used by agents conducting criminal investigations into trafficking of prescription opioids. The judge proposed that the DEA give a list of drug companies that manufacture and distribute 95% of the opioids in each state, broken down by each state for each year between 2006 and 2014. The judge also would like the data to include the total number of pills sold in every state each year and how much market share each company enjoys. Will the DEA comply with the judge's request?
Sir, ma'am, I understand what you're discussing right now because it's been a big part of my time since I've been here in this position. I know personally, and I've been part of the meetings, that we're working as much as we can with the coalitions. We understand their goals. We have, though, a right, well, not a right, but we have to protect business proprietary information. We are working with them right now to come up with a mechanism.
That's the business information of drug manufacturers and distributors?
Proprietary information, yes. And that's statute. That's not something that I can choose to do. It's statute.
But the DEA said you would provide a couple of years of information. Why? What's the difference?
Ma'am, I actually, there's multiple lawsuits going on right now, so I have to clarify actually which one, if you're specifically talking about Ohio.
Yes.
I know we have moved forward with several states as far as giving them information. Some states we have already, some states we're still trying to work that out. So I would have to get back with you regarding exactly Ohio. But
well,
also,
you'll have to, I know the DEA will have to get back to the federal district court judge.
We have.
Shortly, so I know that I would just encourage the DEA to be as responsive as possible. If there is a law that is preventing you from sharing certain data, the Congress needs to understand that. And I know there's been a lot of press reports about what has happened with drug laws and things, but we need some honest brokers in this business to help us combat it. And you said you're committed to combating the epidemic, and I would think DEA's full compliance with the district court judge's request for information would go a long way to doing that. Now, the Controlled Substances Act requires drug companies to report the unusually large or suspicious orders, and if they fail to do so, they're fined or they're suspended or they lose their registration. Then DEA has the ability to, if they're not complying, to issue orders to show cause or immediately suspend them. I'm wondering, in this fiscal year, how many enforcement actions have been taken by DEA, and can you characterize that? Do you have those statistics in front of you? I think your microphone went off.
We have taken approximately 900 registrations per year for the past 7 years. Past 7 years, I believe we opened, 10,000 cases, about a couple thousand cases a year. So we're aggressively going after people, and we're opening up cases, and we're using every tool that we have.
Could you provide those specific statistics to the committee, up to date? Because looking on the website, the data only goes through 2016. And it would be very helpful. Also, there's been a lot of criticism about the DEA and the revolving door between the DEA and drug companies and manufacturers. What regulations are in place right now that, just like Congress, we're prevented from lobbying for a couple of years, What's in place right now at Ethics in Government that prevents an employee from the DEA leaving and going to work for a drug manufacturer or a law firm that represents them or a drug distributor right now, currently in law or in agency regulation?
Ma'am, I wish I was close enough to retirement to have to worry about something like that, but unfortunately, you're stuck with me for several years. I would have to get back to you with specific information regarding that. We do have an ethics committee and council back at DEA, and he can provide exactly what you need regarding
Do you know of any restriction that is currently operative at the agency?
Again, I wish I had the opportunity to know. That meant I was closer to retirement, but
Please get us that information.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
yield back.